Welcome everyone to this briefing on Te Ara Whetū, the Waikanae Library, as we check out the Develop Design update. Very excited about this, and congratulations to the team on getting to this point. And also also on the incredible engagement that's been happening. I popped down when we had a pop-in for contractors, and it was incredible to see all the people who turned up and expressing interest in being involved in the project. So well done to all on that. With that, I'll pass over to Dave and the team.
You go, Phil. Kia ora, everybody, and thank you for having us this morning to give everybody an update on Te Ara Whetū. So the first slide would look quite familiar to last time we came. It's very similar, but it shows that we're currently up to detailed design. So the red diamond at the bottom there is our key milestone that we're working towards for the main contractor confirming the price. So we'll get that following detailed design and around the same time as we go on for building consent. We aim to come back to see Council July or August to get delegation for approving that contract. The next slide, so what we've got is Studio Pacific have done another updated fly-through that we can play, and as we play that, I'll give a little bit of commentary and we can take questions at the end, if that's all right. So this here, just to give everybody a bit of a indication of where we are. I think by now people know where Te Ara Whetū's going. So we're coming down through here into Mahara Place and looking up where we've got the large windows above on the first floor there. So that's the community lounge looking down into Mahara Place. So now we're coming towards the new entrance with a green tile entry. The signage isn't confirmed at the moment, so that's just a placeholder for now. The brick is an indication of the colour that we're going for the outside, and there's a bit of work in terms of patterns that might be coming on that brick. That's still a little bit of work in progress. So now we're coming into the ground floor where we've got the collections, an open space here where the libraries team can activate it in multiple ways. Quite an exciting area that they're looking forward to being able to use. And coming back down here into where we'll have the library staff predominantly being in this area, and then coming down into the children's collection area. This space here is an area where the library staff are looking to be able to change how in the children's area, change it around, having a stage that they can put up and take down as they please. So quite often they'll put that down or use that for storytelling and the likes. The green clock, I'm not sure if anybody noticed that.
I did.
Yep, that's the a clock that has been refurbished, and it used to be in Mahara Place, and there used to be a clock committee, and so we've managed to find a home for it, and the green goes really well with the rest of the interior fit out and the colour scheme that Studio Pacific are going with. So it's quite exciting to see that that's got a home. Up here on level 1, so again there's a Te Ara, so that's the pathway that goes through from east to west. Again, this is a heavy collection area. However, all the shelving that we're using in there on this floor, the majority of it we've managed to recycle from the Paraparaumu Library, where they've got rid of a whole lot of shelving there, and managed to cut it down to a size that the library team are really excited to use. And now we're coming up to the top floor, so this is our space where less or no collections up here. This is the sort of the multi-use space, so you can see there we've got a dividing wall that can be opened and shut, so you can use the space as two or one, and then this is coming out onto the outside balcony. Yeah, that felt very quick actually when I was trying to talk to it. So at the end of the presentation, I've got some floor layouts that I can run through, and any specific questions as well, we can perhaps take them then, if that's okay.
Yeah, so we'll go through the floor layouts first.
Yeah, I'll get through the rest of the presentation.
That might preempt some of the questions.
Right, yeah.
Yep.
Sounds good. So the next slide. So the design collaboration. So continuing to work with Studio Pacific and the other sub-consultants. We've also been holding workshops with the wider council teams, the likes of libraries team, property, customer communities, and IT as well, just making sure that we sense check the design and that the outcome's going to be practical and work. Barnes Bigley Doha have been our PQS, like quantity surveyor, that we've used from concept all the way through to detail. With Naylor Love coming on board, we're really seeing a great collaboration between the two companies, and it's really helped us to understand where we're sitting in terms of cost of the project, ensuring that we're staying within that budget. We're just massaging a few areas around there to make sure that we do come in. Naylor Love have also provided some early input in key trades to ensure their accuracy around these estimates. Some of those key trades are, like the likes of the facade, some structure as well. So structural engineers, not engineers, so actually coming in who are going to fit out the new steel beams and the likes. And then mechanical trade as well is another area that we've reached out and tried to get some input in nice and early before we're going to market for fixed pricing. Naylor Love have also provided us with an early BIM model, and I'll play the link shortly of that. So what this shows is their thinking in terms of how they're going to put the building back together. It's been really beneficial for all parties to understand the buildability and how the construction is going to go. So to have Studio Pacific, Robert Bird Group, our structural engineers, to be able to ask those questions of Naylor Love has been hugely beneficial. Also understanding some key risks as well around the site and how the construction is going to look. On the right-hand side slide, you can see there, so a high-level crane plan that they've been working on. So we've been looking at a way that we can fit the crane within the site boundary and have as little disruption on the surrounding businesses and public. So that's using a 90-ton crane there, and they can reach to the far end of the building by being within the parameters of our boundary. They've also provided a secondary option using a 30-ton crane. To do that, however, we'll be needing to take up some car parks from within the supermarket car park and coming back across. So then there will be some disruption there with public and businesses. There could be a cost savings, but that's where we're just looking at options. So it's been great that we've had Naylors to be able to provide this information early on, and we can make these judgment decisions. Yeah, we can also see just here on the right-hand side within the car park at the back of Te Arawhetū that's where they're proposing to put the site compound. So we do need site offices and lunchrooms and a toilet block for the workers that will be on site to do this. By having the crane within the site boundary, we're having to look outside of our boundary to sort of host that site compound, and that's something that we'll be going and talking to the local businesses about. So we can probably play the Naylor Love model now. So BIM is a building information model. So that is, in essence, building building the new project in a computer model before we even start on site. This is really, it's a great tool in terms of being able to have a look at construction methodology, but then when you start to get the subcontractors these days, especially the service subcontractors, starting to incorporate it into their model into the construction model, and you start to find clashes. That's where traditionally you'll get delays and variations. So being able to have a main contractor that can manage this is it's really important for the project for mitigating risk. So this here is them doing the ground beams that we need to do for the seismic upgrade. Oh, let's jump forward. Here in orange or red, that is the new steel beams that are going in. In blue, I'm pretty sure that's the new concrete floors that are going in. And then there is that's the lightweight structure that's going on the top floor. So again, that's where really the money in BIM is where you see the services starting to go in, and that's where you're understanding and seeing the clashes. So that's really, it's not so much just about having the nice video play through, it's really trying to see the detail nice and early before you've got anybody on site. Cool. Thank you. Also, so Naylor Love, they've provided myself with 3 different programs for the project. So the traditional, going through doing the detailed design complete, going in for building consent, and then going forward, agreeing a contract, and then straight into construction. We've worked backwards and then also looked at, okay, we'd really like to have the project complete by end of 2026. And so to hit that milestone, they've provided 2 more programs. One has been, let's split the consent into 2. And so you've got the structural consent and then the architectural. And then another one being, let's do the early works, do an early works package of demolition works that we don't need a building consent for, and then do that as a separable portion, and then do a split consent as well. This is the option that I'm proposing, and I see as the best option going forward. It takes a bit of pressure off the design team. It means we can really make sure we get a really good detailed design. We can take into account any of these clashes that we're finding within the BIM model. And then it also allows us to do the split consent that we can then get onto the structure earlier as well. So Naylor Love, I think, have done a great job providing plenty of feedback around that as well. And they understand what's important to us for the project. Just take a quick drink if that's all right. So the comms and engagement, so communications and engagement, this is something that I think we've been really proud of as part of this project. Philip has been doing an awesome job leading this area for us. earlier, we on the 7th of May, we held a subcontractors, or in afternoon, we had local subcontractors got to meet Naylor Love. Some of them already knew them, but this was just a chance that we could talk through the project. We had a really, really good turnout. Approximately 30 different groups attended that afternoon. It was also a really good chance that there were some subcontractors that hadn't worked with a tier 1 company before, and they could understand, or they could come in, ask any questions, and then also Naylor Love provided some advice in terms of, like, they had some health and safety managers on there that could help them get upskilled if they needed to get the site-wise accreditation to be a part of the project. And then also just talk through with them the likes of how do you get on a list to be able to put a tender forward for a project like this. So that was a real success. On Wednesday the 18th of June, we're hosting a pre-construction meeting for the Mahara Place businesses. Again, Naylor Love will be there, a part of this. The video that we just showed that sort of showed the impact of the building, where the crane could be located, the outside car parks that we might take up. We'll be going through all of that, but then we'll also be talking through more detail in terms of the tasks that Naylor Love have to undertake to do this project, and what those impacts might be on the businesses as well. So in terms of noisy works, asbestos removal, some of those sensitive subjects, it's going to be great to be able to have an upfront conversation with them around those before we start on site. Council staff and Naylor Love, we've already been around and spoken to some of the closest businesses, the likes of the supermarket, the neighbours that are directly impacted that are neighbouring Te Whetū. So we've already been there, spoken to them. We started some investigation work last week that was breaking some concrete. So they managed to get a bit of a feeling for what that noise might be like. And we went in, Naylor Love went in there and spoke to them during that work, and so they could really get a sense for what that noise felt like. And yeah, we'll be continuing to update the community and these businesses via our normal channels as well. And then, so Philippa, following this, so I think these videos that we've just shown everybody in terms of the fly through, we'll be updating our website and our normal channels with those videos as well. Cool. So the next steps. So currently we're end of June. Or in the next couple of weeks, we'll be putting a scaffold up on the outside of the building. That's going to be on the supermarket side. The reason for that is we're going up and doing some investigations on some non-asbestos that we've got in the building. So when removing these areas, so it's where we've got some of the internal gutters. So when removing it, we need to understand what class that asbestos will fall into. If it's class A or B, that will have an impact on the price to remove. In July, so Naylor Love, we'll be starting to set up the site establishments and get ready for some early work, so around the demolition. Detailed design is where we currently are. That's got a 15-week duration, and that's due to be completed in mid-August. Naylor Love will confirm the contract price following that, and then in September the building consent will be submitted. With the building consent, we've already had two or three maybe, pre-app meetings with our building consents team as well. So we've from that, it's been really good. They've confirmed, so from the fire and structure around getting peer reviews done. So we have preempted that, and we're going to get those carried out, or we're in the process of getting those peer reviews carried out before we submit the building consent. So hopefully that streamlines that process. Main construction, so the main contract will start September and is programmed to be complete end of 2026, and then late 2026 we're looking to open Te Arawhiti.
Just quickly talk about, skip over here and talk about it.
Okay,
Just run
yeah.
through the plans.
Okay.
Quickly.
So I'll just skip through the question slide and then quickly show the floor layout. So this is ground floor here, just so everybody can see. So this here, or down here, is where we've got Tui Mahara Gallery, Mahara Place here, and then up the top is the supermarket. So the main entrance coming through the lobby here, through children's area, pop-up space. So this is an area that the libraries team proposed to, that's an area of library books that would continue to change all the time. It would never be a set category. And then down the back here, a reading area, and then a small space out the back where will be fenced off for, maybe a breakout space where parents can take kids if they like. Down the bottom corner, this area here, or this is all back of house. So this is where the returns and processing happens, staff sort of corner, and where the returns van and the like will come, drop off books, pick up books. And then down here, this is a flexible space that's going to have a wet floor, and it's really designed that it can be a messy area where they can use for the likes of different sort of workshops and classes. And then this area here, so this is where we've got a cantilevered soffit above you. So no post in the corner here, so the engineers are doing a really cool job to cantilever that out, and in the nicer, warmer months, that they can open up that corner of the building. Up onto level 1, so we've got large print located up here, another small area where you can sit down, and then a bench seating type area here that looks down into the void below, so you can sort of people watch here. Again, fiction and more collections and non-fiction down here, and then to our down the end. We've got larger meeting room here that will be sort of set up like a boardroom type area that's rentable, bookable by anybody. A smaller meeting room. It's more set up for one-on-one type interviews, or maybe a school group that are coming in to work on a project together. And then a small booth here. And then down in this bottom corner, this is where we have the large community lounge area that can be shut off with a curtain or a lead weight curtain there. And down here in the bottom corner, so this is the staff room with a small kitchenette here and staff toilets here. And then this is the server room and storage area, toilets, cleaner's cupboard. And then the top floor. So as we come up the stairwell here, and this is when you look straight up, we've got a large skylight that looks all the way through. So as you come up the stairs, you look up, you can see all the way through to the sky, which is going to be very cool, great feature. Into a large lobby, waiting type area. Might be quite a nice area that could be quite quiet up the top there. If you did just want to come up, break away with a book or magazine, yeah, nice area. Around the back here, so you've got an accessible toilet here, and then just a unisex toilet as well. over here, so the kitchenette has moved. I think last time I came in and presented to everybody, the kitchenette was on this side here. That's sort of been juggled around. Kitchenette's moved to this side, and that's freed up a larger breakout booth area within the flexible space up the top. And then this area here, so this is for the operable wall, and the operable wall can fold right back into the storage on that top there. So yeah, so it can actually fold in out of the way. Some operable walls sort of get stacked up against the wall, and they can actually protrude quite far. So that's quite a great feature there. What's sort of shown here is a seating layout. So where what I've done is in behind you can see if they were to have tables and chairs versus if you just wanted to do a presentation and how many people you could potentially fit up there. And then yeah, these areas here, this is sort of showing some projectors that they've proposed at the moment. That's an area that we're just working with our IT team to work on actually what's the best for. Yeah, let's have a look at some of other facilities, get some lessons learned from other areas as well, projectors versus TVs, what works best. So nothing set in stone in that area at the moment.
So is it not really a public area in that platform?
Yeah, it's a public area, but it could hope, like if everything goes really well and it's activated really well, it will be booked a lot. So the library staff and team really see it as a great area that they can activate and use and take a lot of, or do a lot of their day-to-day, like with the kids and or all sorts up there. Yeah. And it's all, again, bookable after hours as well. So yeah, quite exciting to see. Yeah.
Okay, sorry. So this is a live stream briefing, so we're using microphones. So I've got Michael Moore first.
Good. Well, first, thanks to get to this space. It feels really good coming from 3 years ago when, we've almost got a quorum of the community board here today. And welcome back from overseas, Richard, as well. One question's been asked in all this engagement, and I think you may have mentioned it, either Dave or Philippa may be able to just, but what's the space and real estate of books that will be residing compared to, say, the old building?
So the collections?
Correct.
So the collections, pretty sure is 20,000. Yeah. However, with the so talking with the libraries team, the Waikanai community have got really good and efficient at ordering books online, and this is an area the way libraries are going is actually being able to order books, and that's something that from what I'm told is getting more and more as that collection's getting larger and larger as more libraries are coming on board with that.
Yeah, I understand that. So how does that compare to the prior library, approximately?
No, I'm not 100% sure.
That's
That's
okay.
probably a question that I need to get the libraries team to come back to you on.
I think communicating that way books are rotated and brought in from other places is really helpful.
Yeah. There's so as we come into the completion of the project and we're starting to sort of the comms that will start going out will be around that and what a new library looks like, and yes, maybe training people up in terms of how to order books online and yeah.
Cool. Martin.
Yeah, look on the second floor. Can you just show me where do people come up a stairwell?
Yeah.
Where do they enter the floor?
Sorry. Just here.
Okay, so as you're going up the next floor,
Yep.
where do you come out?
Here. Into
And
the
you-
lobby.
right, and that's a lobby area, is
Yeah,
it?
that's right, and this is the lobby area. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Yep.
Okay, so one of the concerns I expressed around this was you're going to have seating there for upwards of how many people? 80? If you're going to sit-down dinner?
Yep.
Okay, so a formal dinner will need to be plated up, and we talked about this, and you were going to have room over the other road there. So at the moment, where would you envision that happening?
The kitchenette.
No, it's not big enough.
So
No.
Yeah.
This was a problem, and I think what we talked about before, there was going to be a furniture room here, and the idea had been that, so it had been, if there was a function that big, well, the furniture would be out. Okay, so you could use that room
Yeah.
to do that in. It seems like that's been changed to here.
Yeah.
So is there any chance of getting a connection between here and this space?
Oh,
Because then you could, if you were preparing to take food out to here, you could then just open that up, have some tables set up there with plates on, and you could bring the food out through there. It's just one of those things now that on the tail end is next to impossible.
Yeah.
If there could be a door, or just even a bifold that opens up that connects those two spaces, that might become very multi-purpose.
Yeah.
In regards to that.
We can ask the question. It's all one fire cell, so we don't have. Yeah, but we can ask the question.
Yeah, look, it's
not
some
bad.
sort of way that you can get into. Otherwise, I'm going to have to come out and into that space to do that.
Yeah.
And it would work a lot better, a lot smoother if you didn't have to do that.
Yep.
Because likewise, I'm picking for clearing and cleaning and that sort of stuff. You'll more than likely bring all that stuff into that space here as well. So then if you could feed that in through there when you're cleaning up, if you're paving it,
Yeah.
make life a heck of a lot more user-friendly as well.
Yep. Yeah.
I appreciate just inquiring about it.
Yeah,
You know,
will
Yeah, is that you, Martin? That's a really good point, because we want these spaces to be as versatile as possible in terms of their potential usage, don't we? And you've got sit-down tables,
Yep.
in the design, so facilitating those to actually be used. Yeah, thanks, Martin. Rob?
Oh, thank you. Well, thanks for that. Just a couple of questions. I'm into courtyards and that, and Mahara Place is a pretty tight courtyard. And we have cafes and that at the moment, and you can sit in a winter's morning, I think, and get the sun. Will that have an impact on the north-facing or the early morning and lunchtime sun into the courtyard?
Yeah. So the idea of putting it on this back or set back here was to minimise that impact coming down into Mahara Place, and they have done some shadow assessments of the differences.
Could we see those next meeting perhaps? Just see the impact of the sun. And I see you got that step thing running through the access from the car park into Mahara Place there. Is that necessary? It's quite a big step in the middle.
Sorry,
off the access way. The access from the car park to the north of the Mahara Place there, north of the art gallery. Is there a there's, it comes along about 3 metres and then drops and then 3 metres. I'm just wondering about the access. Would that affect the access way? Because you trip over it.
Oh no, so I don't. Yeah, the levels out there, that were in the fly through. I don't think that's necessarily. That's not going to be how it will be, yeah.
And sorry, just to go back outside the square again, this is sort of a conference centre too, is it? That second floor?
Yeah.
Is that entirely necessary for a library?
Yeah, so I think it's a multi-use area.
Yeah.
So actually, the way that the libraries team feel that they can use that area to activate it, they really are quite excited by having an area like that they don't need to move books and the likes out of the way to use. It's an area they can go up there and have less impact on the library below. So
no, that's great. It's just that it's made it a very big form, which is out of proportion to all the other buildings. But yeah, fine, thank you.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Who's next?
Yeah.
Nigel.
Yeah. Has the design considered the harmonisation with Mahara?
yes, I believe so.
And I know Mahara's not ours yet. But being able to maximise the value of both buildings.
Oh, Toi Mahara. You know?
Toi Mahara.
Yeah.
Oh,
yes.
yeah. Toi Mahara.
Yeah. Yes. So I think very early on they made sure that we would try not to compete with Toi Mahara, but making sure that it complements.
Yeah, for me it's not even not competing, but actually helping each other.
Yeah,
So,
that's
for
right.
instance, a number of the things that Mahara Gallery has, where they've had some lecture series, etc., and it's just everyone squished in over just right next door is an absolutely perfect spot for
Yeah.
that sort of thing. So I can absolutely see some synergies there. And also, if you have had a tiki tour of Mahara Gallery, you will see that the staff are operating out of a phone box, about 6 of them in a phone box. And so is there an opportunity for Mahara staff to be using some of these facilities as well? Now, that's not anything to do with this build, but it'd be really nice to think that the synergies between the two could be factored in.
That's a really good point. I don't think it's a question
Doesn't
for
require a
today,
response, but just something
but
that
yeah, it's really good to flag that at this point, I think.
yeah, because it's not ours. Yeah.
No.
Okay, we'll
Yeah, I think so. The two main ideas, thoughts from Toi Mahara were one, like a bigger space for their bigger exhibitions or bigger meetings. Top floor kind of ticks that box. The second was permanent space for their staff. We haven't really entered into that. We don't have a whole lot of space ourselves, but a lot of the space downstairs in that bottom corner is it's all flexible working space. So I think there will be lots of opportunities for their staff if they wanted to kind of move out for an hour or two to do something, to use the space like any other one. So, and then we are working through some options upstairs on Toi Mahara with that phone box you're talking about, you know, with the server cabinet. So there's some things we can solve there for them. So I think between that and, you know, just having flexible working space and Te Ara Whetū will tick that box.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if there's an award ceremony at some stage, I think Philippa and Andrea, in terms of the engagement of this process, that it's been as good as any engagement process I've ever seen on any significant project. So that's absolutely fantastic. And I think that's partly why the public have bought into it to the extent that they have. The last bit for me is are there any soundproof study rooms? When they built this building over here and it won an award for the outside of the building. I don't think anyone had a look inside because there's nowhere where there are quiet study rooms.
Yeah, so this room here in particular, they're putting some emphasis on that room. The likes of like podcasting and that is quite popular at the moment, and we could see that, you know, youth or even anybody might want to do a podcast in there. So that's an area where they're putting more emphasis in that room.
So since we built the library here, they have invented noise cancelling headphones.
Yeah, but if you want to talk to each
joking.
other. I know what you mean. Yeah, but anyway, great.
Yeah.
Good.
Very good. Lawrence.
This is probably a really technical question. What's the fire capacity rating for the building in terms of number of people that are allowed in it?
Exact number.
Concrete floors.
Yeah, I'll come back to you with the exact number on that. It is a sprinklered building.
Right.
So that makes it a lot easier in terms of it.
Sure.
It's just one fire cell, so it's not so much getting caught up into how many people can be in each room.
Each space.
Yeah.
So it's a total for the whole building?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So it makes it a lot easier.
Yeah. I mean, if you're going to have an event upstairs that's 80 people or something and your capacity for your building's only 150 or whatever,
Yeah.
that sort of limits.
No, but
quite
also
quickly.
having the two fire stairwell exit stairs either end as well. So that having the external stairwell is that's been a big game changer as well. So it's not a risk.
It's not a risk? Okay, cool. It's just
I'll come back to you if the
a
exact
question of
numbers are
interest,
right.
probably
Yeah.
more than anything. Thank you.
I'm going to go with Richard because Martha's already had a go.
Thank you. Part of the reason for buying the main road property was connection through to Mahara Place. Is there going to be any connection on you can go through the children's area?
Yeah.
But is the fence going to be, or the gate
There will be a
openable?
gate. Yeah, That's right.
So people can come in there?
Yep.
Or,
Yep.
okay.
Yeah,
But
be a
just-
secondary entrance. It won't be well signposted, let's say.
But,
But yeah, it will
people
be.
will find a way.
Yeah.
Cool, thank you.
Martin?
Yeah, two things from my end. First of all, the thing on the 18th of June with the businesses and stuff, are we working with the Business Association around that as well?
Yep.
Communicating with them? Lovely, just checking on that. And, yep, everyone's going to yell at me about this one, but I still believe that the word library needs to be in the name someplace. And I bring it up every single time, even looking at South Pacific, they say Te Arawhetu Library. When I've been around the country, when there's a Māori name on one of those buildings, it also says that it's a library. And in this situation, we're not saying that it's a library. And I've been saying this every single time we have one of these meetings, and I believe that we need to have the word Waikana Library in there, or just library. Doesn't have to be part of the name. Te Arawhetu is the passage of the stars, talks about the passage from the Taurua Ranges through to the sea, get all that, and I think it's an absolutely fantastic name for the building, but it's a library. And I think we need to say that it's a library.
Yeah? Okay, noted.
Well, it gets noted every single time, and I'll bring a motion to the table about this when it comes to the time, if we like, and the community will more than likely get stirred up around it as well, that sort of thing. But just saying, well, it will be
So,
considered.
could you put your microphone on, please? Because we're...
Yeah, look, it gets noted every single time. It gets noted every single time, and then what's going to happen, it's going to get noted when we're actually signing off this in the tail end, and I'll have to bring a motion to the table, which in regards to the naming of the place. So, which will be ugly, because I think there are a lot of people in the Waikanae community and the general community that would like to see the word library in there someplace. It doesn't have to be a big thing or something like that, but we just need to be able to say this is our library as well, because that's what it is.
Okay, thanks. We actually have a council discussion on Thursday, so we can check the views around the table on that. So thanks for your thoughts. Nigel?
I'll, if we are having a
Yeah, we'll
discussion,
just
I'll save it for then.
Yeah, I just think that this is about the design at the moment, so, but thanks for flagging that. It's certainly something that we keep hearing about.
Looks absolutely fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah. Congratulations. Oh,
Sorry,
Richard, sorry, yeah.
just wondering about outside covering of that walkway space between from the supermarket through to Mahara. Is it covered?
From
There seemed to be a small glass one
Yeah.
above
from here
the main door.
to here, that's correct, isn't it? I'm just trying to think off the top of my head, Andrea. Is it from the corner there to the entranceway? But it's not here because that's where we've got the brick. Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
an improvement on what's there now.
I could show the fly through again if you like. Yeah.
Yeah.
Covered now.
Does anybody
Most
want
of
to
the
have
way,
another
but-
look at the fly through? I know Nigel wasn't here the first time. So what we can probably do is wrap up the briefing and then stick it on, and those who want to have a look can
Stop it.
have another look at it.
Yep. Thanks.
Can I just ask a quick question?
Maybe if we just pause it on the outside.
Fly-through should be on LG.
Okay, fly throughs on LG Hub.
Yeah,
Nigel?
just a quick question. When we were discussing early on in terms of the design, and I voted in favour of the Guggenheim, and Richard voted in favour of the box, and it looks like Richard's won. But the external colouring and what it's actually going to look like, because this was just presented as a grey box. So is there, at what stage are they going to have some external renderings?
Yes, shortly. So yeah, once we've just got the design and the texture approved, yeah, we can forward those through to
Yeah, cool.
The look and colouring though is like what's in the fly-through.
yeah, just the pattern though in the bricks.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there is some detail in the fly through.
It sort of is
Yeah.
covered, because there's a awning.
There's also quite an artistic
And there's one that comes in under here.
exterior on Toimahara right next door, so you'd want to make sure that you
18
didn't
seconds.
interfere with that.
18 seconds in.
Yeah. Okay. Just have another wee look at this.
Between the two of them, it's good covered. There's a bit
not where. Yeah.
That's the existing, there's nothing on the
Yeah.
library side.
Not on the south side.
Mm.
It would just go forward a little bit more, please, Evan. And just, yeah, so you can see where we've got the brick, that there's none. There's nothing coming out.
No, but the awning
But there's-
coming out overlaps with the one that's coming out, two buildings. So you can actually walk between the two.
Oh, yeah, so Tuimahara.
No, that's further down.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
and you've got a
further down.
ramp.
That one up there.
There's a ramp there as well on the
Underneath
Tuimahara.
that veranda.
Yeah, yeah.
And does that veranda just go straight into Mahara or?
The Tuimahara one is?
I guess, just curious, is that there
Yeah, that's,
line up with this?
No.
No,
No.
it's set back.
yeah,
No.
no.
Can you roll it forward a bit to the other angle?
You can fly into the.
Keep going.
That's where the current entrance is. On that corner.
It's up that way around, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you
So
go.
you can
That's
see
the
looking
step that
down.
Rob was talking
Stop
about.
there. You can see looking down.
It steps back about 2 metres.
Yeah. There isn't a cover there now. Like so. You get out, you go Tuimahara side. You go Tuimahara side, you can get round to the butchers without getting wet.
So that's the only entrance. There's no entrance onto Mahara Place.
There's some doors there, but it's not an entrance as such.
That's the main entrance.
Yeah.
Okay.
Actually, just by the way, in Mahara.
Hang on.
Place-
Turn on your microphone.
In Mahara Place, if you start at Mahara and you walk down past the shops, past the chemists, etc., and you go around and you don't have an umbrella, you will get wet. There are about 6 different places where it leaks like a waterfall inside that overhangs, just as a matter of interest, which has been raised several times. Apparently it's private property, but nobody's making the owner do anything about it. So I'm just saying that your covered walkway doesn't necessarily guarantee you'll stay dry in Mahara.
That's true anywhere.
Okay, I'm going to wrap up there. I've got one more light from Rob, and we'll get that comment,
Sorry,
and then we'll wrap
just
up.
on that, any chance of having a colonnade along there, that aspect there, with a veranda and a bit more inside outside, just break up the blandness of it?
Please just wait till we get the final design, because I don't think it will be bland at all.
Yeah, no, this is just continuation of the previous concepts that we've showed you.
Yeah.
We've already gone through those questions. Yeah. And we are sitting within a fixed budget that we're trying to remain within, and we're already under pressure in terms of that budget at the moment. So any changes will potentially have an impact on that. So we're trying to accommodate all of those needs and absolutely have a look at the door upstairs in terms of
Yeah.
access. But again, we're also trying to work within, we've pressure on that budget is something that has been one of the key things for us to make sure that we did not go over that budget, and it's still one of the key deliverables for the project. And I think the team are doing a great job of
Yeah, absolutely.
trying to
And-
stay within it, but making sure that we get as much functional, cool stuff as we
Yeah.
can, which is
And
where we're
also taking and having that opportunity to input into those earlier designs and seeing some of what we've suggested come through in this latest iteration, which is just really incredible. We don't usually get that opportunity as elected members, so that's been really wonderful. So thank you. It's part of, I guess it's a part of the kind of collaborative approach to this whole project, which is so impressive and has been mentioned. So well done to everyone, and thank you for this latest iteration. Looking absolutely wonderful. So really excited to see it come to fruition. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.